Start things off. How were you affiliated with Yavapai College?
Well, I'm a student now. I'm a student then. I was enrolled at Yavapai fall of 1970, which was the year the campus opened. I've been almost continuously enrolled since then. I took a couple years out of town. I finished my bachelor's degree. I did a year of volunteer service to America. This is all in the 70s. But I'm pretty sure I've been continuously enrolled since 76. Now, let me say there's going to be some blanks in there because often I enroll for weight training. And then, you get the student assistants in the weight room. They kind of think, I just keep showing up. Maybe I might have neglected to register for a few of those semesters. Let's say this, I've been on campus. In fact, I had the same locker until they redid the gym. And now I've got the same area, but it's not the same locker.
Wow.
So, yeah, there you go. And I'm, in the Alumni Association. In fact, what day is it today? Monday? Last Wednesday, President Horton named me the outstanding alumni at Yavapai College. You saw that
on the website.
I couldn't believe it. I think apparently nobody else is either alive or working. Probably more than not working. So, there you go.
All right. Well, what brought you to Yavapai College?
Well, couple things. Needed to do something, and I was encouraged by my dear old dad to do something. I was enrolled, I had applied to the Peace Corps when I graduated from prep school. And I was sure the Peace Corps was coming for me, to assign me to the most troubled spots on our little blue-green planet. And that didn't occur, and it was getting well on through September. I was in Prescott banging around, thinking I was going to get a little job or something like that. And I remember, actually, I was on Gurley Street. And you can look down and see Yavapai, the year it opened. And I came down and enrolled. And I was drawn here by the athletic director of my high school, Mr. Dave Brown, was the first athletic director here at Yavapai. He was also a brilliant world history teacher and archaeologist. And I was a big fan of his as a teacher. And I kind of was drawn by him. A lot of my Brophy prep buddies went to Prescott College, which was then out where Embry-Riddle is. All that said, I was thinking of myself as a Prescott boy. Had worked up here a couple summers on Mingus Mountain. You do something, and I didn't land the big job, and I wasn't snatched away for volunteer service, and it was time to get started. I believe school is well underway, probably 2 or 3 weeks. And I showed up and went to Mr. Bill Geip's office, great founding faculty members since recently, just this year, passed away, became great pals. I went to his office to enroll and got squared away. And I think that morning, because I'm late for school and I'm late in the day, he takes me to Mr. John Haynes's English composition class and opens the door. We just enrolled this kid. Anyway, so there we go.
What kind of classes did you take?
That English composition, John Haynes. I had a terrific sociology class by a Mr. Green. I had a great American history class by Craig James. And I remember that name because what a thrill to be reading your textbook, and the guy with the lecture is the guy who wrote the book. And that was a new first one to me, and he was really good. Would sit at that table, I don't know if I'm in the camera, but just like this, little mustache, slicked hair, jacket, and just go. I mean, the bell would ring, he would go, and 55 minutes later he would stop. Kind of like Dr. Terry Lovell now. But that was a very good class. Robert Hall, a humanities class. He was terrific. And going back to Mr. Green in sociology, here it is. The school just opened, and so we're all just figuring it out. It was smaller than my high school. It's a Brophy prep. I think I graduated with 93 guys. The school was like 490, and Yavapai was like 470 the first year. And I remember Mr. Green said, "Hey, I was at Cambridge or Harvard or somewhere. I forget. It was big time." And he says, "Oh, I got this, job opening in Prescott, Arizona. Everybody wants to go to Prescott." It's true then, true now. So they got to handpick a lot of the faculty from Prescott High School, came over, great, and they were just picking these people from all over the country. This Robert Hall was a big shot from Midwestern College. Craig James authored his own books in history, and we were using the same. I took a great psychology course that first semester, certainly that first year. And they were using the same textbook as they were in Harvard. And the instructor made that very clear. You're taking the same class. So there you were, pretty good program. And PE, I took PE from my old buddy, Mr. Brown, who kicked our butts. It was great. Anyway.
Did all this meet the expectations you had?
I would have to say it exceeded it. Now, it's easy for me to say now as the outstanding alumni and the cameras are rolling. But, you go, I'm going to go to junior college, which is what it was called. And I went to Brophy Prep. And what am I doing here while the Peace Corps is waiting to take me? And you go, well, okay, Now, I don't want to say I was avoiding the draft. Because I wasn't. And I didn't take a student deferment. But I was right at I'm a little young for all that stuff. But it was at the end of all that. And I did have a number. And it was the lottery. And I didn't take a student deferment. I wasn't going to buy my way out of anything. I figured if they're going to come get me, it must be a pathetic situation if they're going to come get me. But I was ready. But, in fact, my number was 37, and they took 34. So, anyway, that's the way that was. And it was. You got with the teachers, and you go, wow, these guys are sharp, and the homework was challenging. My first week of English composition with Mr. John Haynes, the freshman English 101, what are you doing? The 500-word essay. And we were learning to structure a 500-word essay, which meant a 500-word essay, not a 540-word essay. He took one of my first essays and stood in front of the class and tore it up. He read it to everybody and then tore it up. The college prep guy, hey man, I speak and I am a pentameter. And he goes, this histrionic, overblown writing, we're writing a 500-word persuasive essay. And, it took me a little, every young person, you probably had a couple of cracks in the backside from this crowd, and you go, whoa, I got to get with the program. So academic discipline, you might say, the textbooks were challenging, met some good buddies.
Do you have any good or bad experiences that stick out in your...
Well, back to PE, and you took PE, and it was great. In the different seasons of the year, it's like high school, you do different stuff. Mm-hmm. On my 19th birthday, we had to swim a mile, and this was probably the first time I ever swam a mile. And I swam a mile, and I was beat. And by the way, I was wearing my hair rather long at the time. Because why? Because the way I was raised, and the prep school I went to, it was buzz cuts, So, of course, as soon as a kid gets out of all that, out she blows, right? So, wearing my hair, very hippie style, Prescott cowboy hippie deal. And I come out of the pool, and I'm beat. And I'm a wreck, and I come out of the pool, and I walk out in front of the president's office, and the president says, meet me in my office. And he gives me the lecture about I don't look appropriate for a college campus and get with it and clean yourself up. And I'm going, I just swam a mile. I can't even walk. And then it comes out, it's my birthday, and he cuts me a little slack. Happy birthday. All right. No, just, And that wasn't a bad experience, just that. I didn't bad experiences. How do you have bad experience? Still seeing buddies. Mike Smith owns his own construction company in town. Still see him around. Debbie McCassin and I were in class together. She's like running half your campus or all the arts programs or something like that. I should know some more names, but they're all dead. No, and fun, a lot of fun. My buddy Clay and I, aspiring musicians, we had this great idea once. We just showed up at the girls' dorm and started unloading our guitars and amplifiers and setting up in the little lobby downstairs, And the security people, of course, came right over. Well, what's going on here? And said, we were hired by the student council, the student government. We're supposed to play tonight. It's Friday night. There's a couple of folk musicians. Really? I'm going to check this out. And, of course, he disappears, and we set up our stuff. We start playing. All the gals come down, We had a nice little gig going. And, of course, then we get busted and get back out of here. So that was fun. The old days, he had one weight machine. It's on the floor of the gym. It was the same one we had in high school. Why? Because Mr. Brown was the AD at high school, and he's the AD here. He bought the same thing. I felt like I was the only guy in town. I could do it. Lived above a garage on South Montezuma Street. Didn't even have a bike. Walked back and forth all ran lights for the play. I was quite thought I was the hot actor. I'd gotten the acting award in high school, but I didn't get a part here. I got a part running the spotlight for Sound of Music. Who was that? Mr. Burns, Jim Burns, came over from the high school. Still, I think he might be on campus. Tuning pianos, maybe. Anyway, so we had a lot of laughs.
Were there any outside factors that affected the college that in turn affected you?
Well, it was another time. It was the fall of 1970, 71. So there was a little business about haircuts and dress codes and how far you can get away in a community college setting. And there were a few guys, and it was good, clean fun, I got to say. For Prescott, Arizona, we thought we were just the end of the world, but, come on. And like I said, and that's something that's informed my child rearing and all that. You hold a kid down, boom. Well, so that was a big deal at the courthouse. We all went down there to kind of, you might call it a protest or some kind of a statement to say, oh, come on, let us wear our stupid 70s bushy hair. And I have no idea. I understand, the bond we did, 5-6 years ago to make this beautiful room and all. That was bigger than the bond to build the college. And that was a big deal. And, we got a chunk of the reservation, you got a chunk of Fort Whipple, now you've got, the Yavapai government, you've got the federal government, you've got Yavapai County, you've got the city of Prescott. How they pulled this off, I have no idea. So there's a lot of stuff going on. That I was a little young for. I was just a dweeby kid. And when I applied my first semester, Mr. Geip signs me up. I think I paid, $30 a unit or something like that. And I'd got an apartment on South Montezuma. I was living here this summer, working on a ranch. Second semester rolls around. I go, well, now I've been here for 4 months of the semester, and I was here this summer working, so can I get resident tuition? And he goes, you have resident tuition. I should have charged you $900 or something. I go, what? Now, if I was paying $900, I might have had some different expectations. Back to your first question. But anyway, so was all that going on. I forget. I used to be able to hitchhike from Scottsdale up here with a sign that said Yavapai College. Get a ride. Piece of cake. I remember, yeah.
Cool. Were you involved in any extracurricular activities?
No, I'm afraid I wasn't. I was very involved with this Easter Seal camp up on Mingus and playing a little music. No, I wasn't in sports. Yearbook? No.
Nothing?
No, I don't. No.
What kind of changes have you noticed?
Well, I'm enrolled. I went to Dr. Lovell's class this semester, Introduction to Business. Since I've been running a business for 32 years, I want to see how off I've been. And he's a fascinating guy, and you guys ought to all sign up for his class. Incredible. You been in one of his classes?
I don't know how to.
Well, I know you're on your way, but you're going to be a civil engineer. Just get a little basic business, because whoever you're working for is running a business, and you're a part of it. And I believe everything's business in the end. It's all. So, first of all, I show up for his class. He's young like me, but there's no chalkboard. Oh, he covers a whiteboard with, his notes on pricing and marketing and just, he goes all day. But there's 3 screens. This is probably every class you're in. He's sitting there going a mile a minute in a lecture and running a keyboard, and these 3 screens, like I'm at a Springsteen concert or something. These 3 screens are going on all the time, and we go to the video, then we come back to the statistics and all this stuff. And, of course, I didn't even have to show, because I can go online, and I'm a complete idiot, and I can't do that, and so I know that's a big change. I was kidding around that, we had this huge, fabulous bond, and the school looks great, and the Sedona campus and the Chino campus, and I'm so up on that, and the CTEC, I'm so proud of my alma mater on that, all that good stuff. But I wanted to slide in the pool. I thought we were getting a slide in the pool. I'm a little disappointed. And then I did lose my locker. And now we have the shorter lockers. You can't even put your shirt in them. They can't hang up. And there used to be a dryer right on the wall, so you can, kind of dry off while you're changing, which is really, for a guy that's moving in and out of the gym, that was a big help. I think, you still, of course, you get a lot of residents from the Veterans Center that come over in the pools, very therapeutic for them. You see a lot of these old guys. And one of these fellows, I'm drying off, getting dressed, shaving, like all at the same time. And this old guy goes, "Are you like a ranger? Or are you like an army ranger?" No, just some guy that's late. So a lot of changes. You still got people like Terry Lovell, and just finishing his class. I mean, he has been everywhere in the country. Graduate school at ASU, taught, University of Montana, published author. He could be anywhere in the country, but he's here. And I'm sure that goes for 90% of your faculty, who could be anywhere in the country, but they choose Prescott, the same reason, a lot of us do, to be here. The ghetto with a meadow. Prescott, where you can eat the scenery. It's worked right in the wage structure. So a lot of changes, and I guess all the online stuff. The place looks great. I think it's great. We came out, in '70. It was so stark. Benny Gonzalez, I know that architect. I can tell you, Scottsdale, Arizona, the Scottsdale Mall in my hometown, when they blew up the old rodeo grounds and built the fancy library and stuff. It's that concrete. Everything's just very clean and white. And I remember this thing was just like this Thunderdome. It was just this white concrete, 6 buildings kind of rising up off the hill, and the landscaping hadn't taken or anything. It's just, I think it's physically, I think it's a very impressive plant. Of course, I was lost finding you today because this was the library. Now it's this, and the cafeteria is where the library was, and there's something else going on. I know where the locker room is. I can tell you that. So, very impressive to this day.
What are you doing now?
What am I doing now? I was sitting talking to you. Now I'm the Executive Director of Yavapai Exceptional Industries, a nonprofit organization that happens to be 1/2 a block from campus here. We like to say we're Yavapai College's best next-door neighbor. Where not only I could be enrolled, but a lot of our young adults with disabilities enroll, either in weight training or swim fitness or current events or microwave cooking, or just to have an experience on campus, an age-appropriate cultural experience on campus. We're the #1 fan. Our women's group home is the #1 fan of our league-winning women's softball team. Our gentlemen's group home is the #1 fan of Coach Schmelzer and the men's team. Our group homes overlook the ball field. So we like to say we're still very close with Yavapai. We are talking with Yavapai College now about getting a presence in the C-Tech building at the airpark. So as new businesses come and occupy that, they have advantage of our wonderful employees, and we are a little more accessible to our Chino Valley families and the business community at the airpark. Very hip. That's what I'm doing now. I'm also a river guide for Colorado River Discovery. I've been a Grand Canyon river guide off and on for 22 years. I'm also a musician and an actor. So I got the 3 best jobs in Prescott.
Sounds
I'm
like
sure
it.
of it. Yeah, I do.
Do you feel that your attendance here at Yavapai College has helped to form what you're doing now?
Oh, yeah. And the staff that I work with, I send a lot of people here to that same class I took as a freshman, child development, because you're using that Harvard textbook, and also it's such a heavy on language development, and learning theory, which is very important in the work we do with adults with disabilities, and a lot of them are developmental disabilities. Very, very helpful stuff. I still got friendships and relationships in town with guys I went to school with, and you're always, doing that network thing. I'm a Prescott boy. I came up from Scottsdale to go to Yavapai College, but now I consider myself a Prescott boy, and degree work at Yavapai is part of your credentials as a Prescott boy.
Do you feel that attending Yavapai College was a pretty rewarding experience?
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it's wonderful. It would have gone better for me, but I remember I was taking finals fall semester, and a buddy of mine from Scottsdale was going to school here too, and he had apparently borrowed the parents' car, and it was the last day of finals, and he said, I'll give you a ride home. You don't have to hitchhike home. Ooh, but I got my English final. But I thought, well, I'm acing the English class. I'm sure I don't have to take the final. A lot of professors those days, if you're acing the class, or sometimes you're excused from the final. And I just assumed, And my grade comes in, and I get a C. And I go to Mr. Haynes, hey, what's with this? I was getting straight A's. And he goes, you skipped the final. I was going to flunk you, but I thought I'd break even and give you a C. Yeah, but I got a free ride to Scottsdale. I didn't have to hitchhike home. Mr. Newman, you made a bad choice. So I kid around, and I'll say, if that didn't happen, my life path would have been a lot different. I had that golden transcript and could have been somebody. No, I was very good, very good, very good. I remember a class, that humanities class. We took a field trip to what's now Yakashpa Estates, which is now probably Prescott Still, premier custom home subdivision out here, Iron Springs Road. And the founder of the whole thing, Mr. Zabrinsky, you don't forget a name like that, was talking to us little dweeby 19-year-old kids. And Mr. Ed Branson, who I still see in town, was the art teacher. And he said, whatever you do in life, you go be a civil engineer, you go be a river guide, whatever you are, have something beautiful in your life. Have some art in your life. Save up as a young couple and get something that hangs on the wall that enriches your life. And last week I spent $120 on a picture. So I got to tell you, a guy crossed my mind when I did it. So there you go.
All right.
It's a great place to start, Yavapai College. And look at me, I'm winding up here.
Anything else you have?
Same then, same now. It's accessible. Mm-hmm. This is an accessible institution. It's probably, how many students now? 3,000 or so?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think with all everything. And, but you can still call the guy up. Mm-hmm. And I'm amazed if I correspond with Mr. Lovell, for example, I can't be in class. I get an answer. Mm-hmm. You're kidding me. You're not a face in the crowd. I graduated from U of A, wonderful school. I'm a Wildcat all the way. I don't care how loud and how funny you are still a loud and funny face in the crowd. They don't know you from nobody. But Yavapai is still Yavapai. Okay?
All right.
All right.